Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone Podcast, your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of the Fanzone Podcast, episode 60. We are back with you once again. And what an episode we've got lined up for you this evening. We've got some incredible guests right on their way. Our 1 year anniversary, the Fanzone Pod turns one. It's been one hell of a 12 months. And what better way to kick it off than just by saying a little thank you to everyone. So we're going to put a little thank you message on screen from us all. And just give this a listen. And it's just to say thank you for all your incredible support over the last 12 months.
Just a little message to thank you so much for everything, for all of your support these past 12 months. We've loved every minute of it, from the lives where you all get involved and send in your questions or your comments, give us talking points, to the special pods where we've had ex-players, current players on. It's been amazing. Also, thank you to those people who've trusted us with their brand and their names and sponsored us for the season. We are not us without you, so thank you.
Hi everybody, it's Colin here from the Fanzone Podcast. It's just a quick message to say thank you very much to all of the fans who've supported the pod over the last 12 months. I actually thought it'd be quite fitting to do this thank you message from my apparent downstairs bathroom. No, but honestly, it's greatly appreciated. Be that, of course, the support of the fans, be it the support of the sponsors, which has been absolutely fantastic, but also the support of the former and current players that we've had on the podcast in recent months. You guys going out your way to spend a little bit of time with us and kind of chatting about the Wanderers is greatly appreciated. Very much looking forward to the next 12 months, so stick around. There's more to come. Cheers, guys.
Hiya, it's Chris here from the Fanzone Podcast. What can I say about the last 12 months? Phenomenal. Just can't thank you all enough for just watching, listening, commenting, instigating debate, whatever it might be. Every single one of you, thank you so much. It's been phenomenal. It's really sort of... Well, we couldn't be here without you, basically. Thanks to all the players, past and present, who've supported us, spent time coming on, getting grilled about what their favourite breakfast is and all that kind of stuff. You know, we laugh and joke about it, but it's, it is really, really humbling. So thank you ever so much. More to come. Podcast goes from strength to strength, and that's thanks to you lot. So thanks again, and happy first birthday to the Fanzone Podcast. What a pod.
Hello everyone, it's Ben from the Fanzone Pod. Where to start? The last 12 months have been nothing short of exceptional. So I just wanted to say thank you to the viewers, the listeners, the contributors, the retweeters, the sharers, to anyone who's engaged with the podcast. We seriously appreciate you. The Fanzone couldn't be without the fans. It's the whole reason we set it up. It's the whole reason we do what we do, is so that we can give something back to the fans, and to the ones that come up to us at games, to the ones who say hello, to the ones that share our content, to the ones that encourage debate on the podcast. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're all been fantastic. To our sponsors, to Eco Warm Windows, to Sushma Snacks, to BBS Window Blinds, Drip Tech UK, thank you. You've trusted us with your brand, and for that we are really, really grateful. You've been a massive support to us, and we're seriously grateful for that. To the guests, you've trusted us, you've given us a platform to grow. So to all of our guests, employees of the club, former players, current players, everyone who's been on our podcast, who's been on the Fanzone, who we've had the pleasure of sitting down with, Thank you very much. And finally, Colin, thank you to you. There's so many words I could say that I'll refrain from saying, but thank you for being a great co-host on the podcast. To Ange, the mum of the group, thank you. You've been exceptional. Reining us all in when we need it, thank you. Callum, the newest member of the team, thank you. Your content is fantastic. You've joined us and you've ran at full speed. You've taken everything we've given to you, so thank you. And last but by no means least, Chris, thank you to you. To all of the co-hosts, you've helped me take what was a pipe dream that I thought was going to be a wasted hobby into something that's grown much bigger than that. And to everyone involved with the Fanzone podcast, thank you.
Ben, you're on mute.
Oh, what a shame.
You did so well.
Thanks to everyone. It's been massively appreciated. And what better way to celebrate than with the guests we've got for you tonight? So a very, very warm welcome, a return to the podcast for the one and only David Wheater. 236 Bolton appearances, almost as many dance routines and wrestling figures. So a very, very warm welcome to you.
Lovely. Thanks for having me back. I must have done a good job the first time.
Back by popular demand, Stone Cold.
Lovely.
Excellent performance.
Every time.
We're hoping that your internet stays, in order tonight, Dave, as well.
Hey, it's down to Elon Musk now. I'm on that Starlink thing, so he's not cheap either. Flipping heck.
If that breaks, then we've no hope, have we, I guess?
His internet's all right, so hopefully I can stay on this time.
Happy days. Goes without saying, Dave, thanks very much for coming on again. Really appreciate it. We've seen a lot of stuff regards to your coaching and stuff that you're doing up in the Northeast. Have you been getting on over the last few months since we spoke to you last?
Yeah, it's good. It's been brilliant. I've said before, I never wanted to coach. I never wanted to do public speaking. And there I am coaching kids and going into schools, doing full assemblies. So it was weird at the start, but you just get used to it. It's been brilliant. My hometown of Redcar, that's took off. We nearly got like 90 to 100 kids in like 3 months. And we're going to another town now, Stokesay. It's got like 20 to 25, but we haven't visited any schools for that yet. So we're starting next week, going into schools, doing more assemblies. So, we always said we just want the kids to smile. Yeah. If they leave with a smile on the face, that's the only thing.
It's all that matters, isn't it, really, I guess?
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Are you gradually gonna start building your way back down to Bolton, like further bigger and bigger coaching academy?
Hey, that's what we want to do. I said that to my coaching partner, that's the one thing I want to do is come to Bolton. I said probably kids in Bolton have probably seen me play, the ones around here. Worn off because I left Middlesbrough in 2011 before they were all born. So, but yeah, I've said all along we want to get off the ground in obviously local to us now and take it to Bolton next year. Maybe do like a few summer camps and that, get a feel for it, see if anyone's interested, and then hopefully go from there.
I can almost guarantee people will be interested, Dave, and obviously if we can do anything to kind of spread the word in terms of kind of.
I'll be on you all right, don't you?
More than happy to do so.
Yeah, lovely.
No, it's good to hear, Dave. So yeah.
So, our next guest for you, we are delighted to welcome to the Fanzone podcast for the very first time, Ben Lawes. Ben, thank you very much for joining us. He's a stand-up comedian. He's an avid Bolton Wanderers and Lofty the Lion fan, for those of you who kept an eye on our socials. So, yeah, Ben, thanks very much for joining us.
Oh, are you there? Is this some comedy act?
I think it must be.
Ben, what are you doing?
Can you hear me now?
He doesn't look to be on mute.
Oh, I don't
Ben,
think
he is. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
He's recording that on a potato, I'm sure.
Lucky 3310. There you go, right. Is your headset plugged in?
Well, he is loving it that the IT issues are not in this time.
It's his first time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Ream, who's got his own podcast every week, he must be thinking, what the hell am I coming to?
Well, I tell you what we'll do whilst Ben tries to resolve.
You're
on mute now.
This is part of his act, this, I swear. I'm telling you.
What we'll do is we'll welcome our very next guest to the stage. So, Tim Ream, delighted to have him with us. Current Premier League footballer, no other, 126 Bolton Wanderers appearances, host of his own podcast. Thank you very much for joining us, Tim. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving up your time and coming on the pod this evening. One of our first ever current Premier League players, hopefully not the last. So obviously you left Bolton in 2015 and went on to Fulham, where you are still. So what is it about Fulham that keeps you there?
You know, when you find a place that you're happy in.
Tell the truth.
Trust me, it's not about the money, my friend. Not at 36 years old. I can tell you that much. No, when you find a place that you're happy in, you know, I've and Dave knows this. I've got 3 young kids. They're settled. They're happy. To me, that's more important than picking up sticks and trying to move around and find clubs. And so, it's just there's a history of there was a history of Americans at Bolton, obviously, but then there's a even deeper history of Americans doing well at Fulham, and I've kind of just kept that tradition going, and just enjoyed being settled and just playing football, really.
I'm playing in white, maybe.
Yeah, that was a connection as well. When I moved, I was like, wait a minute, I'm so confused here, because Come On You Whites was in at Bolton as well, and I'm like, I'll just go with it. That's what I'll do. I'll go with it. I won't ask questions, and that's where we'll leave it.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. So thanks again for joining us. And then maybe Ben might be able to speak now. I'm not sure. No.
Doug, do I need to troubleshoot? Do I need to troubleshoot for him?
I need to
so you could assume your IT responsibilities, mate, and so you can get Ben.
Does he see the settings? The settings in the bottom. There should be a settings tab. Okay, go to audio.
Excellent.
I love it.
Yeah. You go to audio and then figure out which mic is selected.
If any wonderful viewers of ours would like to kindly donate a studio space, that'd be fantastic.
If you've got sat nav, I'll give you Ben's postcode. Hang on. You can pop round. Oh, hang on.
I'd love it if this is all his act, because it would. Whether I'd like it or not, I'm not sure actually.
Have you tried switching it off and switching it back on again?
That always works. That.
Might be worth trying to leave and then rejoin, perhaps.
Get Laura around.
Give it the old school. You gotta blow the dust off of it. Give it the old school. Take the game out.
Yeah, it may well be worth leaving and rejoining. So we'll see how he gets on with that. But without further ado, thank you all very much for joining us. We hope you are as excited as us. But just before we get into all the good stuff, of course, we've got one little message for you. We'd just like to say a huge thank you to all of our sponsors for this season. So as I said in my thank you videos, we've got Eco Warm Windows, Drip Tech UK, Sushma Snacks and BBS Window Blinds. If you want to find out any more about our sponsors, then if you head over to our website, www.thefanzonepod.co.uk, then you can do exactly that and you can find out about all our incredible sponsors over there. But a huge thank you to you all for trusting us so far with your brands. We massively appreciate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to hand over to Ange for her quickfire questions.
So always a little warm up when we have some guests on is we start with my quick fire questions. We're supposed to be going round the three of you, but we're down to two. So we'll start with Weeks and then Tim. Just the first thing that comes into your head, no need to think too long about it. There's not too many this time.
There's loads, I love these.
Benjamin has given me strict instructions. So here we go. And this first one is from a debate started, I think, on the back of the pasty thing being on fire on Saturday, Dave.
Oh. Who was on fire?
Pasties.
The pasty thing.
I'm with you.
And I'm not sure if Tim ever frequented the baked goods shops of Bolton when he was here. But anyway, number one is Cars pasties or green algaes?
Green algaes. Do you know what? I only had one Cars pasty and it was like eating sawdust. I think it just put me off. Green algaes, nice and
moist.
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 You're allowed to say that, Dave. You're all right with that.
You can say moist.
I can't even answer. I don't think I've had.
Talking about, do you?
I don't think I've had either one.
Could you say to Tim pasty or pie? Because you're not a pasty and a pie, are you, Tim?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Would you have a pasty or a pie if you had to choose?
I'd have a pie probably.
A pie. We'll say that.
Your pie will be full of like blackberries and blueberries and all that.
Pumpkin.
Well, that is also true. Yes, that is very true. I would definitely, yeah. Mine is a fruit pie. It's not a protein pie. Yeah, no. That's very true, Paul, yeah.
Number two, Christmas Eve football matches. Yes or no?
What is it? Christmas Eve and Boxing Day?
I think it's Christmas Eve and Boxing Day. Yeah.
Probably no. I'd play Christmas Eve instead of Boxing Day, but
one or the other.
Yeah, not both. Not that I'll be playing anymore, but.
Tim?
No, just absolutely no. And I think it is only Christmas Eve. They moved their Boxing Day game, so they don't have two games, which is okay. It is okay, but I don't. Why change now? So
it's family. It's kids' day, isn't it? Really, Christmas Eve. So I don't understand that decision.
Well, I mean, we all train anyway, so and Christmas Day, so it doesn't really matter. You may as well just leave it for Boxing Day.
Number three, controversially, the use of VAR in football.
Me?
Dave.
I'd say no. Get rid of it. Trust the linesman. Might be wrong, might be right sometimes. VAR takes too long, doesn't it? Just spoils the game.
I mean, Tim can tell us. What does it feel like a lifetime?
I mean, we were debating decisions before, and we're still debating the same decision. So what's the point of having it? I'm for me.
Yeah.
You know what I think though? Just put an ex-player into the VAR room and let them figure it out.
There's a job for me.
There's a job for weeks.
There you go.
What if that player that played for the team or has got an association affiliation with the team that he's sat in discussing?
Oh, well, of course you couldn't do that. But I'm saying like an ex-player that has no association, similar to the referees now. Like they don't have an association to the teams. Put them in there. Like, what's especially for some of the fouls that are called or the penalties that are called. Put them in there. The offsides is such an easy one that they still can't figure out. But listen, we can literally. I feel like every week we can go on and on about this. So this is quick fire. So I say
quick fire. Moving on. Question 4. What is your guilty pleasure, Dave? Can't be wrestling.
Food.
What isn't? What isn't his guilty pleasure?
Yeah, lots of food and fizzy drinks. Definitely drinking.
Guilty pleasure, I'd say, is a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh.
Just a cheeky one every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then. Yep.
And then the final one, if for you, and you had this one, I think last time, Dave, but for you, who is the GOAT?
Of wrestling or football?
Either. Why don't you go both?
Ric Flair, Lionel Messi.
Tim, you don't have to go wrestling if you don't want.
I'm gonna stick with what I know. I'm gonna say Messi for sure.
Got to be Messi, I mean.
Great shout.
Well done.
I need elaborations. I can't help it on that particular.
That's a quick fire, Colin. You don't elaborate.
For me, I think I always say to people, you had your last bit of money to spend on a ticket. Who would you rather watch, Messi or Ronaldo? Just Messi's highlights are so much more entertaining than Ronaldo's. Obviously, Ronaldo's brilliant, but Messi's just stuff he does with the ball is unbelievable.
Yeah, I love that.
And I tackled Ronaldo, so
can't be that good.
Never tackle Messi. No.
Have we got Ben back? Ben, are you back?
I'm gonna say, Earth to Ben. Do we have?
He's froze.
He's certainly bringing the comedy to the pod anyway, as a guarantee.
He was fine before.
Well, it doesn't seem to be working. Don't seem to have anything.
Is this still AOL dial-up? Is that the problem?
Yeah, he's in Bolton. So, yeah, AOL, isn't it?
Just stay on for the stay on for the facial expressions. Just leave them there.
Yeah, we can just have a mime in the corner. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna try something different.
David, you're getting pied. No, Wheats, you're getting pied. Wheats is closed. No, you're getting pied. Nope, not having it.
Can I give one question for you?
Yeah.
Lennon or Friedman?
Oh, that's two evils.
I thought we weren't bringing these up.
He's no comment.
Oh, wait, you're asking me? I thought we were asking the rest of them. This isn't me. No. Well, let's start with everyone. Let's start with everyone else.
I'll go first. I'll go Lennon. I liked his passion. I thought he was unlucky at the time with what were going on and what he inherited. I didn't think he were expecting it. And I thought if he'd have had a more of a smoother ride, he'd have done better with us. The other fella, no comment.
Tim, can you remember the first day Dougie come in and he said we weren't allowed to sit with the staff anymore and all that?
I don't. Listen. I try to forget a lot of things that happened in a lot of different times.
Tim's still playing. He might be a bit more PC.
I do remember us being separated. I do remember that. I remember, like I said, there are things that I choose to not remember, and then there are a lot of things that I do remember.
That obviously being an ex-player, he knows the dynamic of a football club, doesn't he? And then he just splits everyone up. Bonkers.
Yeah. Okay, let's get through. I'll answer last, and then I'll give my 2 cents on that.
Go on, Chris. You can go next.
Exactly the same as Colin. I think he was. I thought Lennon was unfortunate with Mialby going. They were a really strong partnership. Hang on. Are you, Ben? You all right?
Hello?
Hey!
You're a different guy. I mean, what have you done?
Pardon? Right, I use those headphones every day without fail, and they decided, because you were talking, Chris, not to work. So I'm on my phone now. Right. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Turn your phone into landscape mode.
Then you fit the box.
Liam's just said the sign language interpreter's back.
There we go.
Here he is.
Kill that.
Right.
Rocket.
I'm not flustered at all either.
No, you're not. No, your blood pressure's not been affected by that one.
And you just come in on Lennon or Friedman and got a pick. Go, Ben, go.
I've answered Lennon.
Lennon. Anything else? Is that it? Shall I go now?
Yeah, thanks for coming tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I'm Lennon too. I'm Lennon too.
Yeah,
it's pretty difficult for me to say. I think I was probably about 10 when they were both here, so I've not really got much of an opinion on either.
Poor Callum's got no idea what we're talking about, have you, Callum?
Not a clue. Just move on. Let's move on.
Oh well. Anyway, Ben, it's lovely to have you with us. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for joining us.
No worries. I actually just went to get a beer. That's all it was. So
I thought there might have been more to it than that.
No.
We're going to try something a little bit different this time. What we're going to do is we're going to hand over to Callum, the resident stat man, and he's going to give us all some stats and info on the players and whatnot. And he's got a couple of questions for you both. So, Callum, feel free to take it away.
I'd like to start by saying, I don't know if you've tried finding stats from 10 years ago, but it is impossible. So focus on mainly core stuff for Tim, and then for Wheats, I'm just going to ask you some tactical questions. So I'll start with Tim, saying, how often do you use stats and data in the Prem? Like, I imagine Mark Silver uses it every day with like really in-depth things.
Where do you even start? Everything from the minute you walk in the door to check your soreness, fatigue, sleep, to they manage each and every single minute of every session, to see your walking distance, your jogging distance, your high intensity, your sprint, down to how much actual physical kind of loading you're putting into your lower body. So it's heavy, very, very heavy. Even more so from, like you said, from 10 years ago to now, it's crazy the amount of stats and data that they take on each individual player.
Yeah, I mean, I won't pretend I've gone that in depth, but I have found something incredibly interesting. Did you know you're actually the best centre in the world for shots per 90? The best in the world. There is no one who takes more shots per 90 than you.
No.
Yeah. The best in the world.
What?
Takes the most shots per 90. I mean, it must be corners or something, and they win every header or something, but best centre-back in the world for shots per 90.
Someone's changed Wikipedia just for the fun of it.
I've not taken a shot in his life.
But
I mean,
I couldn't even. Listen, I'll hang my head on that one, but I don't think that's.
I was going to say, Tim, something's changed because I can't remember you scoring many for us when you were with
Listen, you are not wrong there. You are not wrong at all. Don't think I had any shots when I was there.
I always thought you probably could have scored because you had a wonderful left foot when you played for us, and I'm sure you still do, to be fair. But
cultured,
yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah, you might not score him, but apparently you have a load. And another thing as well, apparently you're in the top 15% of centre backs in the world for aggressive passes. Was that something that is it a particular strength of your game, or is that something that Marco Silva insets before every single game?
So that one I can absolutely believe.
I was going to say that sounds more realistic than the shots.
That definitely sounds more realistic. No, I think that just from growing up, the way I was trained and the way we practice, that's always been kind of a strong point of my game personally. Being able to find forward passes, find guys in different areas, whether it's longer balls in the air or splitting balls and breaking lines on the ground. So yeah, when you say that, like that absolutely sounds plausible and very realistic. And that's something that the manager really likes all of his defenders to do. Because listen, you guys know in the modern game and it's happening at Bolton right now with Ian Evatt, the way he wants to play a possession style and move the ball and work the ball from goalkeeper to attack, and that's just the way the game is now. And so fits me perfectly, and it's exactly what Marco Silva wants.
It's Pep's fault, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Pep's fault. Change the game.
Yeah.
Talking about modern stacks and how much it's changed, I can go over to Stone Cold now. How much do you think it's changed? How different was it to a Premier League player?
Loads.
The role of a centre back.
Like back when I started, if you played back to your keeper or messed about in your box, you'd get hammered.
You still don't get me wrong. You still get hammered. You do. You still hear
that's the first thing you learn. Don't pass it across your box. Don't pass back to the keeper.
Yeah.
And obviously that Tim's doing it now. But yeah, back in the day, imagine Neil Warnock when he started it, played back to your keeper and they scored or something. He'd rip your head off, wouldn't he? But yeah, football's good to watch now. The passing game. But yeah, like years back, it would have happened.
Your old mate, well, both of your old mate, Gary Cahill had managed all right in this era, wasn't he? I think he'd have been pretty comfortable with playing out.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah.
Truthfully, I was gonna step in and say that like without injuries. No, without injuries, this guy with a ball at his feet was crazy in training.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, the injuries just caught up to you. That's it. That's
sure all. It did.
Was it Mark Davis good, Tim, or not quite as good as that?
I scored more than Mark Davis, didn't I?
Yeah. I listened. Wheats was very good on the ball, like very, very good on the ball for being a big dumb oaf looking guy. Like he was solid with it for sure.
True. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah,
you just couldn't move.
We can move. Well, yeah. If obviously talking about how you started coaching, and obviously we don't know how far you'd like to go with that, but and you were talking about how different a centre back is now. What would you ask your centre backs to do if you were a manager of a, say, League One, Premier League, Championship team?
Say that again, mate. I missed that one.
You've obviously started coaching now.
Yeah.
What would be like your philosophy if you became a full-time manager of like a professional club?
Get up to the big man.
When in doubt, get out.
Yeah.
Beefing it up.
Honestly, it depends what players you have, because you see League One and League Two teams trying to play this football and they haven't got the players to do it. So like Tim at Fulham can do it, them top teams can do it, but everyone wants, like Pep, like you say about Pep, everyone wants to coach like him.
and they don't have the players to do it, so they'll just look daft in the end. And then they pass it back, and then they just launch it anyway. So just get it up there.
Get it up there, yeah.
Get in the mixer.
There's no right and wrong way of playing football, is there? Let's be honest.
That's results game. As long as you get the result. Then 1-0 dirty 1-0s are the best anyway.
Well, I mean, look at Luton knock it about a bit, don't they? Like, but obviously they're not quite as silky as some of the other teams in the Premier League. But they got a result against Liverpool at the weekend, didn't they? So it's not always about, making it all look pretty, is it?
No, sometimes it's just percentages, isn't it? But that's at the end of the day, you put enough balls into the box, you're going to come out, you won't say lucky, but you're going to come away with something at some point. You can't go all that time without coming away with something.
And then you get down with Nunes missing from 2 yards, don't you? So it's a bit of luck as well.
He was offside though, wasn't he?
I think he managed that. Well, Salah's got a 50 pence head as well, and he 2 yards away from goal.
The sheriff's badge, yeah.
He should have scored that, and don't know what Nunes is trying.
So we're going to, obviously, we can't ask Ben any tactical questions. Oh, well, we could. Well, we could, couldn't we, Ben? But I don't think it'd go particularly well, would it?
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course you do, mate. Of course you do. So, for those who don't know, Ben's a comedian, a stand-up comic, Ben. Is that right?
Yeah. Although, Chris, I'm sat down now.
Oh, I see what you did there. Very good, that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, never stop, do you?
No.
No. Yeah,
I did for a bit before when my sound went off.
I mean, that was still pretty funny to be fair.
That wasn't part of your acts, no.
Unfortunately, I did have a thing going where Ben was going to introduce me, and I was going to pretend that a stash of drugs was being delivered to my door. Obviously, you couldn't hear that,
right?
So I just looked like a complete bell end.
I can confirm, Ben.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
You did indeed.
Okay. Confirmation.
Yeah, so well done. You delivered that perfectly, mate. So thanks for that.
Yeah, we've had news just in.
You're a bellend. So let's talk about your career as a comic. So how did you get into the comedy circuit? How did it come about?
Well, there's not a funny story there. To be honest, I've grown up with stand-up comedy and comedy in general. My mum and dad loved comedy, so big old favourites, sitcoms, Only Fools and Horses, Fawlty Towers. They were, stuff you can't watch now.
Yeah,
that was big in our house. And then at Christmas time, and then Morecambe and Wise, but stand-up comedy wise, Tommy Cooper was a big favourite from my dad, and I used to, first of all, didn't know what he was saying, but I used to find it funny watching my dad laugh at Tommy Cooper. Watching your dad laugh at a comedian was just fantastic. Yeah. And then that progressed. So all the way through my life, I just, practical jokes, just being funny. But it all came about when I was with my best mate, Julian, who you've met. God rest his soul. Yeah, no longer with us. He was my best man. And my missus, we were in a pub having a conversation, and I just came out with, I'd love to get up on stage and make people laugh, because I was told I could make people laugh, just in a group or in a pub or wherever, just having a chat. And they both looked at me like really confused and went, "Nah, you're funny with your mates, but there's no way on earth you could do it on stage." So I just went, right. I stuck a big 2 fingers up at them and went, right, I'm having this. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, didn't do any research, as you do, and went straight to the Comedy Store in Manchester. Now, I don't know if you know, they run a night called the King Gong.
Called the what?
King Gong.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just new acts getting up, doing new material. But basically what it is, it's brutal. They hand out 3 red cards into the audience. You go on stage, you do your stuff. And if you're not very good or they don't like you, the 3 red cards go up and you get gonged off.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this until I got there. Went in to put my name down, and the fellow at the door went, "Put your name on there." And there was about 30 on this list. I said, "What's that?" He said, "That's the acts for tonight." I went, and then he explained to me what it was about. Went into the auditorium where my missus was, and my sister and brother-in-law, who I took with me on my first time, and they said I'd gone as white as a sheet when I'd gone in and sat down. And I explained to them, and they went, "Do you want to do it?" I said, "I'd give it a go." Anyway, 1 minute 27 seconds I lasted. So, you're supposed to get to 5 minutes, and then you get a trial spot at the Comedy Store. But I got to 1 minute and 27 seconds, 3 reds, and I was off. And I thought that was it, comedy career done.
Finished.
I was devastated. Yeah. But the following night, I just happened to apply for the Frog and Bucket to run a similar one, and I got through to the final of their competition on the next night. And if it wasn't for the support, genuinely, of my missus, who I said, "I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it," she said, "You are doing it," I wouldn't have gone, and I probably wouldn't be doing it now. But I got through to the final of their competition.
And how long ago was this, Ben?
This was late 2008.
Bloody hell. So 15 years ago.
15 years. And it's time to write some new material, I think.
Well, you have been turning the same stuff out, haven't you, ever since?
Yeah, all right. Thanks for reminding me. Yes.
86 seconds of it. So you've done Hot Water, Frog and Bucket, you've just mentioned. Yeah. What's your best gig today?
Well, I don't know whether you know, Chris.
What's that, man?
About 18 months. I'm not sure whether I told anyone or not, but I've got the chance to support Jason Manford.
Oh, you never mentioned that.
Have I not? Right.
No.
I thought I might have. If you go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, it might be my profile picture. I don't know.
Anyway, go on. Sorry, I was joking. Go on, mate.
And that came about by genuinely good fortune. I came home. Been a really tough day. My missus was walked in the house. There was a curry in the slow cooker. Walked in and she went, and I went, "That smells gorgeous." She went, "I've got you a nice bottle of red as well." So I'm going, right. I went upstairs to get ready. Please don't get too excited by this. I was naked in the bathroom having a shave. My face. I got a call off Gordon Isaacs, who is tour manager for Peter Kay, Jason Manford, Mickey Flanagan, Ricky Gervais, all that kind of thing.
Bloody hell.
That's a bit odd. And it was 7:15. And he said, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "Well, I'm bollock naked in bathroom, Gordon. What are you doing?" And I said, "Do you want C?" I didn't say that. And he said, "Could you get to King George's Hall in 35 minutes? I said, "Right." He said, "Jason Manford's tour support's not shown up. You're nearby. Can you come and do it?" So literally, I stood at the top of the stairs. Mrs. came to the bottom of the stairs and said, "What's up?" I said, "Jason Manford want me to do tour support tonight." She went, "Oh, nice one. Do you want poppadoms?" I went, "No, genuinely. They want me to go to King." She said, "Well, what the are you doing still stood there then?" kind of thing. I went, "Right." So I was honestly getting dressed. She said, "I'll drop you off." So I was getting dressed in the car, shirt on, going up. It's where I live. I live in Ashley Bridge. So I was driving up Belmont Road. Jason Manford then rings me and said, "Hiya." I went, "Hiya, you all right?" I went, "Yeah, not bad." He went, "Right, what material are you going to do?" I said, "I'm just a bit busy shitting myself." I haven't even had time to think about that. He went, "Well, I'll let you know what I'm doing. I go through your material." So I told him what I thought I might do. He went, "Right, brilliant. I've seen," and this is that. I don't really know him. I've met him a couple of times. But I don't really, he said, "I've just been looking at some of your YouTube clips. You're quite funny. So hurry up."
Brilliant.
Kind of thing. And literally, she dropped me off at the outside King George's Hall. Somebody met me. We ran in. As I ran into the auditorium, this is where it hit me. Because as I run in, Jason Manford's just done to punchline to a gag. and the whole room just went bang. And I went, oh, because he was on stage, he just 20 minutes. And I went, I've got to follow that kind of thing. And then, yeah. So,
wow.
One of the nicest bits of advice that I ever heard was off his tour manager. I was stood in the wings. I was watching Jason Manford. I was breathing. I was hyperventilating. He said, there's 3 things. He said, there's 1,600 people out there. I went, right. He said, just take your time, do your stuff, come off after 20 minutes. And then he leant in and went, don't fuck up. And that was
it. Solid advice.
Yeah.
Solid advice.
Fortunately, it went well. So
good. Lovely. Cheers, mate. Good to actually hear you.
Yes. Thanks.
I want to talk some football, if you don't mind, again, and to Mr. Wheats, if possible. Obviously, cash your mind back, and obviously this is relevant for Tim as well, of course, because obviously he was with the Whites back then. But when after Fab's cardiac arrest, the next game at the Reebok was against Blackburn.
Mm-hmm.
Full house, sunny day. I think it was proper out as well from memory. And you bagged a couple, didn't you, Wheats? Was that your first 2 goals for the Whites as well, I think, within a matter of minutes?
Yeah, and I can't find it anywhere.
I looked for it, I couldn't find it either.
It's bonkers, isn't it? Just can't find it. Highlights anywhere. But yeah, I can't remember. I think Petrov crossed the first one, then he's straight on my head. I think he come off their defender. Then Rio Miyachi took the corner, and he the next one.
He was quick, wasn't he?
Oh, he was rapid, yeah. Yeah, good guy, Rio. But yeah, it was a weird day, wasn't it? It was like I scored 2, but like nothing was about me afterwards. Normally
an understandable sort, to be fair, Dave.
Yeah, normally you score 2, win the game, and interviews would have been about you, wouldn't it? But it was just nothing got mentioned. But that was all good. Obviously, turned out well, didn't it, for Fab? So yeah, it was just it was a strange day, but yeah, good memories. But I'm just gutted I can't find them.
I look properly for it as well. Just about that time period, because obviously you lads are obviously in the midst of what happened at White Hart Lane, and it was awful, wasn't it? But what was it like, Tim? I can guess you as well, like to deal with that as friends. Obviously, you're his friends, aren't you, as well as much as teammates?
I mean, I didn't know Fabs as well as obviously a lot of guys did, and as well as Wheats did, and but obviously, coming into the team and into the club in that January, and just kind of putting yourself out there and immersing yourself within the group. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Fabs.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember the next probably 2 or 3 days just walking around almost in like it was weird, like just a fog, like it wasn't reality. Like we were in some random other place, and what was going on wasn't actually real.
Yeah.
It was a really, really strange situation, strange feeling. But obviously, at the time, you're just thinking, it doesn't matter as long as he's pulling through and as long as he's all right. Like at the end of the day, yeah, does football matter? Yeah, it helps a lot of people. But Fabs' life was the most important, and the fact that he was still breathing and obviously not out of the woods, but there and requesting guys to come visit him was amazing. But yeah, that's one moment that really sticks out, is just walking around like just almost, I don't even know how to describe the feeling. Like it didn't feel real. And that's the best way to describe it.
Like a bit of an out of body experience
Yeah. That very out of body. And again, like I'm coming over trying to adjust to the league and the team, and the area, and then that happens, and you're like, everything just gets thrown, out of body. That's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that must have been like. Because obviously you all went down to London, didn't you? And obviously visited him at the hospital. Am I right with that?
I don't think everyone. Me, Kevin, Yussi went with the gaffer. We went to see him. It was magic. He was saying to us, you could tell he wasn't quite right, obviously. And he was saying, "Oh, Messi came to see him." He said Messi turned up and was talking to me. We were like, "Oh." I was like, "Wow, really?" We left and his missus came out and she said, "Messi never came." I was like, "Oh." So obviously he wasn't right, but yeah, just to I've known him since like 16 for the England youth team, so it was horrible to see him like that. But yeah, now he's pulled through and he's just as daft as ever, isn't he?
Did he have, you'll know this weeks, because obviously you play with him at England at 21. Did he get the most ever under 21 caps without getting a full international cap? Am I right with that? Or did you remember him playing a lot for the 21s? Because I seem to remember him playing a lot.
Yeah, not sure. That sounds like one of them stats where Tim, the highest shot maker in the world.
I think that's more accurate. I think it was him and James Milner. James Milner got a cap.
Yeah, before he got a senior cap. But I don't know. I don't think Fab got that many under 21s, to be honest. I don't think it was him.
Must have dropped it.
No, I remember that stat coming out. I don't think it was Fab, but I can't remember who it was. But yeah,
you know, a long time, don't you?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I've had a lot of balls since then, so might have been him.
So I want to go back to 2011 when Tim Ream joined Bolton Wanderers, and the little story behind that where you actually cancelled your honeymoon to join us. Your wife played football, didn't she? So I assume slightly more understanding than other women would be in that situation. But what did you even say to her? How did that conversation go?
Yeah. What are we? 11 years later, 12 years later, and I think I'm still trying to make up for that.
Still getting yourself out of that one.
Weeds can probably vouch for me on that one as well.
If you see Tristan's closet, he's made up for it. Don't you worry about that.
Jesus, here we go. No, that's legitimately true story. It was crazy because in MLS you only have a very short window to, and that's the other funny thing is like all the footballers over here, they all get married in like a June window, right? Because that's the off season. And in MLS in the US, the off season is like December, January. So everybody gets married right around New Year's. And so I'd come over before that for a week. And I trained with West Brom and then came up to Bolton and trained there for a week. And I left, and before I'd left, Owen Coyle had said, "Listen, we're going to try to do something. We're going to try to work something out and get you over here." And I was like, "Okay, great. That's fantastic." And that was probably, I would say mid-November, early December. And so I left and had conversations with my agent. And so we get married on January 7th. And I'm asking my agent, like, what's going on? Because like I have a feeling like something is gonna happen, and everything that we planned is just gonna go straight down the toilet. And he goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll make sure it works out. And I'm like, okay. So we're at my in-laws the next morning, and I get a phone call, and then from my agent, and then I get a phone call from Coyle, and he's like, "Listen, this is what we need you to do. You need to come over. We want you to train. You don't have the permit yet, but everything's been agreed. So we want to get you up to speed, yada, yada, yada." I'm pretty sure I went like Ben, white as a sheet on the phone call, with my wife sitting next to me, and her jaw dropped, and I didn't even have to say anything. And she was gone. She was in the other room, like, couldn't believe it. We had a trip to Tahiti planned, 7 days. yeah, and ended up spending honeymoon in Bolton in January. At the time, obviously, it was the Reebok. At the hotel in the Reebok.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like our honeymoon was walking around the stadium to Starbucks and Tesco and
How romantic.
yeah, and I remember it because like you wake up and like obviously it was bad TV because it was a hotel and the outside it's just foggy and misty as it is, and we're just looking at each other like, oh man, where are we? Where are we? I did make it up to her. I said, listen, we'll go in the summer. We went for 10 days instead of 7 and did a few more a little bit more island hopping. But yeah, true story. It really happened, and it really happened that way. And it was the best and worst thing all wrapped into one phone call. So, but here we are. We're still married, so it's all right.
It all works out well.
Can I ask Tim a quick question before I forget? The crossover between you leaving New York Red Bulls, which I think you played for, I'm not wrong with that, am I?
Yep, no, that's correct. Yeah.
And you came to the Wanderers. Did you play with Henri, or did you miss him?
I played with him.
I thought you did.
I played a season and a half with him.
Thought you might have done. Can you tell me? Can you tell everybody about what that was like, please?
Wow. Let me tell you about this guy. Like, even at, I think he was 34, 35 at the time coming over, you think, and that was the rub with MLS. Like, oh, it's a retirement league. All the guys are going to go over and retire there. He comes in and just immediately elevates every single aspect of that team. And just changed the way the trajectory of the club. I've never seen somebody so competitive as he was, to the point where he was so mad in training one day that a rookie, a guy my like me, 22 years old. It wasn't me, by the way. I was smarter than that. The rookie tried to nutmeg him. He half did it, got away. And TT went right through the back of him on a slide tackle. He was like, "No, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to do that to me." And I was like, note to self: just pass the ball whenever he's pressing. No, don't be messing around. But no, it was incredible. I mean, what a guy! Like, obviously, super competitive on the pitch, but you get him off the pitch and he's the nicest human being you'll ever meet. I actually ran into him when we played Arsenal last season in the hallway, and he snuck up on me and just grabbed me and we just chatted for 20 minutes like we had played together for years and years and years. And I was only with him for a year and a half. So unbelievable. What an experience that was to be able to get to play with him.
I think luckily for you, obviously you played on the left, and he used to play off the left himself. He obviously wouldn't have crossed with each other, would you? When in training and stuff, I would have thought.
No, not normally, but he actually played a lot more striker for us.
Right.
Yeah, I think he came in. I think that was one of his contractual obligations that he put in for himself. He said, "I'm playing up the middle. Don't put me on the wing. I'm not tracking back. I'm not doing any of that." And yeah, so we did, I did have to be in and around him quite a bit in training sessions. But again, these are the kind of things you learn, from, as I say, young. I was a rookie out of university, and you're watching him and you're like, you could get away with things at university. And when he was lurking around, you're like, no, I'm not messing around. Like I'm going to, I know I have to play quick when he's on the other team. If he's with me, and it's the other striker, the backup, I know I can do things and get away with it. But yeah, the training sessions more than anything were a massive help for me developmentally.
I'm glad I got my dates correct. Then I was just
you're spot on. Yeah,
that call.
Speaking of top level players, Wheats, we'll go over to you. What is the best five-a-side of players that you've played against?
Against?
Yes, against. Yeah.
I'll probably say play Henry up top. That was my Premier League debut. He scored a hat-trick. So that was good.
Not for
Good
you.
start. Good start.
That was brilliant. That was. Against Peter Cech in goal, John Terry centre half, Lamps in the middle.
Shock.
Oh, he's the goal. He's the best. John Terry, and he follows me on. I don't know if I mentioned that either.
Hey, there's something next to you there. You dropped, pal.
Here's another one. Stick Beckham in there as well.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't play against Beckham, did I? No.
Took a shower with him, didn't you?
Yeah, shower. Wow, what a guy he is. He just smells beautiful. I don't know how he does it, honestly. I sweat and stink. He sweats and smells better than when he started. But, we got Cech, Terry, Lampard,
Henry,
Ronaldo. Got to be a nanny, Ronaldo. It's not bad five-side, is it?
I think you've got.
It's a good lineup.
You got 6.
Really, got too many there.
I took Tim out. Remember the first time I went out, the Bleach Works. Remember that in Bromley Cross?
Yep. It's literally right. We walked there from my house.
Yeah. What a place that was. Yeah, I remember that today. I was thinking, where did I take Ream on that? His first night out. Yeah, Bleach Works. Cracking.
You've shut it down now.
It was wasn't an axe throwing place as well.
Yeah, that's shut down now.
Oh, yeah.
Too many deaths.
Strange location. Strange location.
Yeah, very strange.
Good Indian though. Next door.
That's closed. That's shut down now.
What about the little play centre behind? Soft play.
Stay away from them. I've been told. No.
I got told that as well.
You've been told personally, or you've been told by?
Yeah.
No, it's just something that my kids are grown up now, so I don't need to.
Oh right, okay.
It's gonna open up again, the curry house though, Dave. Just in case, it's gonna be a Spice Valley. So
nice. Yeah, I like Spice Valley. The one in the village was good. Yeah.
Just a bit of information for you.
Just for when you get your training academies down here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Can I tell you the best food place in Bolton? You know the little sushi place, Saki Sushi.
Oh, stunning!
The best, isn't it?
Superb.
I've had sushi all over the world, and that is the best sushi I've ever had.
Yeah, you wouldn't go there for hygiene, but the food's great.
Yeah. Oh, close your eyes and go in, but nah,
that's what I do. Order it online and get them to throw it at me as I go in.
What's it called again?
Saki Sushi.
Saki Sushi.
Yeah.
Sushi. Honestly, the best.
It's good. The chicken tempura they do as well. Have you had that, Dave?
No, I get the dragon roll with the what is it? Can't remember what it's called.
Stunning.
But, and the tongue roll with the salmon and the cheese on top.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it?
They've got a really nice. They've got a really nice al fresco dining area as well. That's right on the crossroads, isn't it? Which is
on the crossroads. Yeah.
So you can have your sushi and then breathe in the exhaust fumes from a bus. I think. Nice.
Tim, can I ask you the same question, please? But obviously, Dave. Well, you named 6 players actually, but
did I?
Yeah.
Cech, Terry, Lampard, Ronaldo, and Henry.
You said Becks, didn't you? Oh,
I realised I didn't play with him against him.
Right.
His name I just wanted to mention him.
Just drop him in. Yeah.
Same question, Tim. Same question, but you can't pick the same players that Dave's picked. Whether you play with him.
You got me what?
You can't beat that team.
Tim's still playing though, to be fair, so he's got more options, hasn't he?
Yeah.
No one's better than Henry now, are
there? Go on then, Tim. Let Tim answer.
Okay. Against. This could be difficult actually. I'm gonna have to think of a goalie. All right. Messi.
Oh.
Drogba.
My job.
So that's 2. So Messi,
Hell of a strike
Drogba.
partnership, that, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Who am I gonna put? Man,
You played against
Yaya
me.
Toure. No, Yaya Toure.
In middle. Yeah.
Who can I put at? Well, I mean, he could play defender as well. Man, who am I gonna who can I put at defender? No, I didn't. No.
Harry Kale.
No, there's too many Chelsea guys.
Van Dijk.
I've got a thing against Chelsea guys playing at Fulham.
Yeah,
I'll say Van Dijk. He's that's a good one there. I can't there's no other defenders that really come up off the top of my head. And then keeper. Man, we played against some keepers. Nah, I'd say Ederson for sure.
Yeah,
he's not a great if you're playing 5-a-side, obviously you need a shot stopper, but you also hit him as an extra man. Jesus. Okay.
I think he's better than Alisson. Both class.
Huh?
I think he's better than Alisson.
You think so?
Yeah.
I just think they're a little bit different.
Both brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah. Alisson gets picked for Brazil, though, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've always had dodgy keepers.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I'm looking at them 2 teams there. Henry up top, Ronaldo, Lampard behind, Terry at the back with Cech in the net with Wheats. And then you've got Edison in net, Van Dijk at the back with Yaya Toure just everywhere. But Messi and Ronaldo, Messi and Drogba. Don't know.
I'll tell you what, it'd make a good Royal Rumble.
Yaya Toure would. I'd lean for a 5-a-side team. I'd lean on Tim's personally. There. Sorry, Dave.
I'd agree with you, Cole. To be honest, sorry, mate.
It's got Messi in it, so I don't mind.
Yeah, game over, isn't it? Yeah, Ben. Ben, I can't ask you the same question because obviously you're not a footballer. I know you look like one, but you're not.
Well, I would say, Stu, my mate Dave, he's good. My son, he's all right. Alex, he's pretty good. And then we'd have maybe Lofty in there.
Lofty and goal.
25 goals this season.
I've told people to stop leaving that lion there, so I'm just going to move on. Sorry about that. Yes, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, right, instead of footballers, let's put a comedic twist on it. So, who is your ultimate 5 comedians? So, say you were to do a gig and you'd have a headliner and then you'd have 4 supports. How would it work and which comedians would you have in there?
Oh, see, from a 5-a-side football point of view, in a team, I would be playing.
No, you balloon. No,
I know, but I'm doing that one.
Yeah, you do that then. Off you go then. Go on.
I'm not doing your question. I'm doing my own.
All right then.
I could do that one as well. But I'd be player coach because I look a bit like Fabio Capella's son. A bit, yeah. Looking as craggy as it. That joke actually starting to work the older I get, which is great. Then I'd have Lee Evans up front because he'd just make an absolute mess of everywhere, wouldn't he? Because he just sweats all over the place. But I'd have to have Tommy Cooper in goal. Because if anyone had a shot, he'd save it.
Just like that.
No, to answer your question, so what do you want? You want a headliner and 4 support. So
yeah, make it quick though, yeah.
Here goes. So for my son's 18th birthday, I took him to see who I think are 4 of the best stand-up comics. So it was basically a present for him. Happy 18th, but I'm coming.
Yeah.
So we went to see Jim Jeffries, Kevin Bridges, Bill Burr, and Frankie Boyle, all in the space of space of a year. And it's difficult to pick someone at the top of the game. And it pains me to say a Scottish, because he wouldn't get in my 5-a-side team because he's Scottish, but probably Kevin Bridges at the top, then those 3, in just behind, and then I'd help out at the back.
Support like you did for Jason Manford, didn't you?
Twice, because I forgot to tell you, I got invited back. I thought I might be able to get that in. He said,
cheers.
He said you were that good. Please come back. So
you've been fantastic.
Yeah,
literally. Cheers, mate. That's perfect. Thank you,
Tim. I'm going to go back to you. Obviously, in terms of five-a-side teams, you picked Drogba and Messi up front. Another one who's probably could get in there, perhaps in a couple of years, is of course Erling Haaland. You've had, I suppose, the pleasure of playing against him, if you can call it a pleasure. Just how good is he?
Listen, he's good, but I think he's also a product of the squad around him and the team around him. I obviously the first time we played him, he was coming off an injury. He played the last 10 minutes, didn't do much. The next time we played them, I don't even know what happened. But he's going to score goals because that team is so good the way they play, and they're so well drilled, and really he just has to be in and around the 6 for pretty much tap-ins. But in saying that, he has all the physical attributes of being the top goal scorer in the world for years to come. So yeah, again, he's good, but I think he scores a lot of his goals because the team around him and the players around him are just that much better than everybody else, and head and shoulders as a team, they're better than everyone else.
Would you say, Tim, that's the key? Obviously, a big driving force is the way that Guardiola plays, and obviously everybody aspires to play like that. Is that the key difference with City? The way that they're drilled, the way that they're set up? Would you say that that's what sets them aside?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you know what they're going to do, and they can still do it. So obviously they're well drilled, they're well set up, but then they have the ability to do it over and over and over again, even when you're literally standing there trying to prevent them from doing what they're going to do. And I think that's just them. That's the talent that they have, that they're able to still do the things that you're trying to prevent them from doing. And that is it's a massive key when you can still do that, and still put teams away. It's the difference. But I think also that on the other side is that they're able to do it over and over and over and over and over, like every single week, every single game. They're relentless, and the mentality and the mental side to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've just won the treble. All right, now a lot of coaches, managers, teams will be like, okay, we're all right. We've done our bit, and now like it's like, oh no, we've won the treble. Like we're gonna go for it again, and not to be at that level, at that top of the game. It's just doing it consistently, and doing it over and over and over again, and that's what they have.
They lose players. They've lost players as well, haven't they? Like key players. Like
well, yeah. They lose players, but they have someone just waiting to fill that spot, and it's like, okay, they may have to make a little bit of an adjustment, but they still just it's like a again, listen, when you have hundreds of millions to to spend. The pipeline is going to be the pipeline, whether that's buying a £100 million player or whatever it is, developing a 20 million pound player over the course of 2 years, so that when a Gundogan does leave, you have someone to ready replacement. It's just incredible the way they're able to do it. But again, I think we all know that nowadays money talks, and money is the key to being able to do that.
We've witnessed it firsthand, Tim, with City, with James Trafford as a goalkeeper that we had on loan from City last season. Obviously, conveyor belt approach in it to the ability that the players have in their academies and stuff. And they did something similar with Bazuma. Is it Bazuma who went to Southampton? I think they got another goalkeeper.
Yeah, goalkeeper, yeah.
Just produce players and flog them on for 20 million quid or whatever it is, and then just be able to, tap into
and that's the thing. You tap into it, and it's a conveyor belt, and that was. The point that you're trying to make is that there's a conveyor belt. They may not make it into the first team at City, but they're still churning out those types of players and moving them on to other clubs. And it's just like, yeah, exactly. It's just and they're just they're permeating all the different clubs, and all of a sudden now everyone wants to play that style because there's so many players that can do it. And so many players that have that ability. So it's actually crazy when you think about it, the influence that City, but more specifically Pep, has had on the game in England as a whole.
Yeah.
Wheats, do you know your coaching journey? Have you got Pep at the end of the tunnel, or are you thinking more grassroots? What's the crack?
Grassroots, definitely.
Grassroots.
No, keeping 22 men happy every day. No chance.
Impossible.
Nah, so
I couldn't think of anything worse to try to do.
I'd have them on team bonding every week. Lads, we drew.
Yeah, you're getting a big group of kids turning up with smiles on their faces, loving it, and it must be dead rewarding, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but even like if parents come up to us and ask us if we're doing teams and that, and I'm thinking, no. But that's something you have to think about. If you get so many kids, you might have to put them in teams, but that wasn't the plan. But yeah, we do 5 to 11-year-olds, and they don't really answer back at that age, do they? So
those grassroots touchlines.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I'm on him. The little lads, he handballed it twice one of the last games. He said, "What are you doing?" Because they're not allowed to edit. He said it was coming at my head. I said, "Just edit and give a free kick away." But he handballed it. I was like, "Oh, you."
Whoa! Repeat that, Dave. So they're not allowed
to edit.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to head. Yeah.
Middlesbrough's not, like the grassroots around Middlesbrough, but you go to Sunderland, Newcastle, they're allowed to head it. So it's all different, but they're not supposed to be coaching heading to like under 13s now, I don't think.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to practice it in training.
No.
You're not even allowed. You're not even allowed to do a certain number over a certain distance, even in the professional game.
Yeah.
In a week.
You should be allowed in the games. I mean, if my little lad's on the line last minute and he clears one off line with his head, I'd be buzzing. But
Not with his hand.
In like training with the young lads. I mean, I forget all sorts of me now. If I'm in the middle of a sentence, I'll forget a word. People say I don't know.
Megan?
Yeah, is that what it is? Is that what causes that, Weeds?
Might be. I don't know, honestly. I'll just be in the middle of a sentence and I'll forget something.
Could be all the Red Bulls as well.
That's just age. Just age, mate.
9 o'clock and having a Red Bull. This guy, Jesus.
Juneberry though, look, special.
Oh, it's all right then. Yeah.
It cancels out the caffeine.
I'm convinced that Kevin Davis won't be able to play football anymore if he was of an age to be able to play it.
He was horrible. Tim will know, even in training, he used to smash it. He was horrible. But then he wouldn't pick you up or anything. He'd just walk off. Weird. Remember that time he smashed into John Terry and Peter Cech?
Cleaned them both out and brought their arm.
They hurt themselves. Bonkers. Yeah, he was a hard man, that fella. Good
Big
drinker.
head as well.
Yeah, Ben. So for you, you're right.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good. tell us any upcoming gigs, tours, shows, supporting Jason Manford, whatever. What's happening? What's next for Ben?
It's funny you should mention that because going back to what Tim said about, you asked him about Haaland. Could Haaland do it on a cold, wet, and windy night in Stoke on a Tuesday night? Well, I did when I supported Jason Manford because that was in Stoke. That was a Tuesday night, and I performed well. So, pardon?
Was it cold and wet?
It was. I was indoors, but it was outside. But yeah,
I'm talking about the weather. Yeah.
Well, I know it is cold, very cold and wet. But tomorrow night, from what Dave was saying, I'm doing it's the European night at BWFC with because it's the anniversary, isn't it, of Bayern Munich Bolton 2-2. Just gone,
isn't it?
16 years. So there's a night at the Reebok in Old Money, tough sheet if you want to be new. So I'm the comic tomorrow night, but it's Kevin Davis, Ricky Gardner, and Nicky Hunt. They're doing a Q&A. So that's tomorrow night. Then we've got the High Life. It's all rock and roll. Then I'm doing Lostock Cricket Club on Saturday.
Similar to the Reebok.
And then next Friday, I'm doing Hollywood Social Club. There is a Hollywood in Bolton. Never knew it existed. Do you know where it is? Over Heaton. Sorry, over.
No, I didn't. No.
Never knew it existed. Bowling club.
No, not the night.
Came to a gig I did. Can you put a comedy night on here? I said, yeah. So we're off to Hollywood next Friday night. So
where is it? Where's that?
It's over, not far away from Finishers. If you know where that is. You know, no. It's not far away from Heaton Cricket Club.
Right. Yeah.
You coming, Dave?
I might do, yeah. Is that an invite?
There you go.
Yeah, drop me a line. I'll bring the jokes, you bring the sushi.
Got yourself a deal.
Brilliant.
Laughing.
I bet
you will be laughing because it's a comedy show, aren't you? Yeah, laughing.
Well,
I hope he is laughing.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen, but yeah.
I bet you Tim's missed all this stuff on it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Banter. Absolute banter. Cheers, Ben.
Well,
no worries.
Yes, thanks to everyone as well. It's been a fantastic episode. We're going to close off now, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Before we finish, if you perhaps want to catch up on more podcast malarkey, Tim, you've got a podcast knocking about, don't you?
I do, yeah, regular one. What started as a hobby, just chatting crap about football world, anything and everything, and has morphed into being on kind of there's a group called the Men in Blazers. I don't know how much anybody is familiar with them, but they're a big media company in the US, dealing solely with football, and yeah, just have guests on, chatting about careers, about, stories that within careers and all, current events. So yeah, have started that. I've been about a year and a half now, doing that, which has been cool. It's been fun. It's been something different, something, still within the football world, but away from the pitch, which is, is always nice to have different hobbies. So yeah, it's been a good time.
Dave, why would you bring back Drinks with Dave?
I'm good, 100%.
You should.
Yeah, I will, definitely. I want to do, you know what? I want to do like live shows as well, like around Bolton, like all
take it on the road.
Why don't you team up with Ben?
We will.
Hey,
do 100%.
I tell you, I did a couple of nights with John McGinley, David Lee, and Tony Kelly, Q&A and stuff like that. I did one the other week, and it went really well. There's so much fun.
Weeds mucks it up with all those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, we'll sort it out next year. And I've got lots of plans. That's next year.
He's gonna be a busy boy.
Yeah. Yes. Do you know when I do that? I go walking with my dog. Well, dog now. I lost my dog with the other one of them. I go walking. I think of all these plans, what to do with my free time. So there's lots of plans. That's one. Drinks with Dave and coming to Bolton with me football coaching. So
So
Hopefully,
you
be
say-
one there.
Absolutely.
Eat
So
some
did you say-
Fantastic.
Did you say you go dogged and think about these ideas?
I
Is
thought
that
he
what you said?
That is what I said.
Oh.
Every little helps, isn't it? Kind of thing. That's nice.
Yeah, that's definitely what I said.
And on that note, we will close off tonight's episode. Thank you all very, very much for joining us. It has been massively appreciated. Thank you all for joining us for our 1 year anniversary. We hope you enjoyed. And until the next one, take care and we'll catch you soon. Bye bye.